with another episode of To the Moon. And man, oh man, oh man. Here's the coolest part about this one. I knew this episode was going to happen, and I wasn't quite sure when, but I knew it was going to happen because these two people are incredible community members in the Astro family. I have watched the entrepreneurial journey, the hero's journey that has happened in this with these two is intense. And so, guys, you're going to want to watch this episode right to the end because it is like a movie. There's so many ups and downs and craziness that takes place, but at the end of the day, we may or may not have a happy story, have a happy ending. So watch to the end. But I'm super excited to introduce Javier and Natalia, two of my incredible community members in the AstroFlipping family. How are you guys today? And welcome to the moon.
What's up, Jamil?
What up, bro?
Hi, Jamil. We are
Hi.
good. We are good. We're pumped.
You're pumped. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for you guys as well. I'm pumped for me because as a coach, these are the stories, these are the opportunities and the moments that like really hit me in the heart, right? Because not that I don't want everybody to win, but there's some stories and some people that you meet where you're just like, man, I need these guys to win. I need these guys to win. And I'll start off with you, Javier, because, for those of you that aren't in the Astro community, Javier and I have some little pet names we call each other. I call him Big Head because look at that.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at the big head he's got. And then he just started calling me Big Head because he didn't have anything better to say. So,
every time we talked, it was live. I didn't want to embarrass you. So I just kept,
he was just like, I was like, what's up, Big Head? He'd say, hi, Big Head. But no, Javier was just he came in and he's the kind of person that took the information that was being provided to him and metabolized it, like decided, hey, I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to do it all. And I'm going to do it exactly the way that I'm supposed to do it. But it, like everybody else, there is a learning curve of how much activity and how much volume you actually need to do in order to move the needle. Right. And I think that you were probably one of those folks that when you first clued into, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm working 8 hours a day, but I'm actually only doing 1 or 2 hours of work that's moving the needle. And then like 4 or 5 hours of like nonsense. Right. And I remember we would unpack that on the calls. And then you started to make the switch and, things were, starting to get better, but rocky. And then you went through all the, emotional turmoils. Natalia, on the other hand, you guys joined together. She is in this incredibly low-paying job, which is just sucking the soul out of her, making her feel terrible every day. She's sleeping till noon, depressed, doesn't have the motivation or drive to want to get out of bed sometimes. If this sounds like it's you listening to this call or listening to this podcast right now, have hope. Have hope because it's not despair. It's not depression. It is triumph. And we get there when we consistently take action and we put our best foot forward. So I want to find out from both of you first, how did you even come into this world of wholesale real estate? It's such a niche world. What brought you guys here? We'll start with you, Javier.
It was 2020 and I found out I was going to have a kid. And at the time, I didn't know where I was going to be living at. So I needed something to do virtually and still be with my kid.
Right.
I didn't want to be plant somewhere and then, life events happen to where I can't be with my kid. So he was born, and when I was taking care of him, newborn and everything, I'm just, all he does is sleep, eat, and poop every 2 hours. So it's not like I could do something and then not take care of him. So all I did was just go on the computer and Google like how to make money virtually. And I went through I already knew about all Amazon FBAs and this and that, but I really wanted to get into real estate. I already, everybody knows real estate makes money. So I went down the rabbit hole of doing it virtually, and I found Lily.
Oh, I love Lily.
I love Lily. Yeah, she. I remember she was on you were on her YouTube videos. I found Lily and just went down that rabbit hole, but it took me about 1.5 years to find you, and I found you through Pace. So Lily, Pace, and then you, and then something about you, bro. Everybody knows something about you, and then I heard the To the Moon podcast with, Michelle and Isham and all those people. And then I was like, yep, I knew I wanted to do this virtually. I knew I somehow, somewhere in the real estate, and I found Astro, and I literally like just jumped in and did that. So
And yeah, and you came in with an open heart and an open mind and lots of baggage, right? And we'll get back to that in a second. Natalia, what was your story?
Well, I was in college. I was bouncing around in a different major like every single semester. And I just felt like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I remember one night I had just like kind of sat up and I was just kind of searching for some answers or something that could interest me and something that I felt like I really had potential in. And I was always interested in real estate because my dad always held some rentals. So that's whenever I kind of, same thing, went on Google, just kind of started learning like about wholesaling. And then eventually I was just researching about it so much that I was having ads pop up on my Instagram. And that's whenever I found the wholesale the genie.
I forgot about the genie. Yes, I saw a couple of your ads. Yes.
The genie got you. It's like we haven't run those ads in a long time. I look so different from the genie now that it's like doesn't even work. But yeah, but it's the Pocket Genie. What got you?
That's what got me. I clicked on it. And I was like,
hilarious. I mean, listen, I try to make them fun, and there's always this double-edged sort of like, are people going to take you seriously or not, right? But it's like at the end of the day, if we're not having fun when we're learning, then we're going to get bored, right? And I think we've had a really good time learning with each other. We've had a lot of laughs in our community. We have a lot of laughs when we hang out, and a lot of emotions in the other direction too, right? A lot of frustration and a lot of learning and a lot of bumping our head against the wall. And so, coming back to you, Javier, when you first came in, we would watch you on the call, right? And you got a baby running around. You've got so many things happening. You're working an incredibly hard job, manual labor, like you're busting your butt, right? And we can see a man who's standing up in life. Like you're standing up. You're not a sit down guy. You're not a lay down guy. You're a stand up dad. You're a stand up man. You got the kid. You got the family. You've got the hard work ethic, and then you've got the dream, right? And so I hear you coming in, and like I see every single time that you would show up to one of their calls, and you were making progress. You were always making progress. And one of the things that I really love about Javier is that he's like one of the first people on the call. He's one of the first people to ask a question. He's on it, and he's on it at such a degree and such a level that he's showing himself how committed he is. It's not about me. It's not about how much you show me how committed you are, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be the guy who's going to be on the phones for you. I'm not going to be the guy who is, going to be walking your deal through title and getting it to the closing table. I'm not that guy for you, right? I can show you what to do. I can give you the tools. I can give you the process. I put you in the community because you got all the great people to connect to, but you have to stand up and do the work. And you were doing it. And for a few months, right, there was a learning curve. And I really want to dive into the learning curve, because emotionally, when you're a dad, when you have bills, when you have, full-time physical labor job, you got a family saying, where are you? Why are you always on the computer? You've got a kid who's, shaking on your leg, pulling on you, like, grabbing your do-rag and, hanging off your braids, like, Daddy, let's go, It's like, and we've seen it, right? We've seen it on the call. Like, we see this going on. And you're not getting that immediate success. The immediate gratification is not happening, right? Let's hit that emotion right there, because that's the place 99% of people stop and fail, right? So what did it take for you, bro? What did it take for you to pull yourself out of those moments? Because you did, and we see the result of what happened on the other side of that. So walk us through it, please.
And I would like to add, that's not what y'all see in the background, where I have my dad. Natalia knows my dad sitting me down saying, "Be a man." Pretty much, he didn't say that, but having talks with me, my family members calling me, "Hey, so when are you gonna get a real job? Hey, when are you gonna do this?" And just everybody looking down. I think I'm 31 years old, and I guess just knowing this is just part of it, that's some degree, that's what it is what kept me, is just this is part of it.
Yeah.
And two, bro, I had to show up every day to the Zoom calls. I needed a community. I knew that's why people go to religious gatherings. They need to be the community. I didn't have no community here. All I had was a lot of naysayers and a lot of not negative energy because they're trying to be negative. It's just family members and friends just, why you're doing that, why did
They
you
care about you, right? They,
Yeah,
they don't want to see
do.
they don't want to see you
Exactly.
get scammed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We just saw all this garbage happen with, you know, Caesar and DJ Envy and all this, right? People getting scammed and stuff. And so and there's a lot of online fakeness that goes on out there, and it sucks, right? And so like you see the evidence of there being a lot of snake pits in this world of online learning and virtual business. So I never
I don't blame them for that.
exactly. You
It's
shouldn't.
still negative, and it's still hurt. It's still affects to
Yep.
a degree. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that this is just part of it, just being old enough to know and been in this situation before with other stuff, and just plugging in to a community like Astro, where you have real people that love you and that you could just get on the phone with every day. And then I partnered up with Natalia, and she's dope as hell.
So hey, dope as hell, Natalia. You know, because I remember you got on the call one day and you're like, bro, I'm so unmotivated. I'm feeling, maybe I'm a little depressed. I don't know what's going on. Like I can't get my ass up out of bed until noon. You know, I know I'm supposed to be doing this work. I know I'm supposed to be making these calls. I know I'm supposed to be putting this in, but I just feel deflated. I feel completely lost. And you know, I'm being honest with you because I feel like I can, and I can trust this community to help me through it. But how did you get out of that? Like, first of all, what sparked that depression? What sparked it? Because somebody's gonna be watching this right now and saying, this is exactly how I feel, right? So, you know, the more that you can speak to, you know, the cause of that, and then, you know, some of the techniques and things that pulled you out of it, I think will be really helpful for our listeners.
Yeah, I really think that it started with just kind of, the typical getting out of high school and going to college. And that's, what I thought that I really wanted to do. But then I felt like once I got here, it wasn't really what I thought that it was. So I think that as I continued to push myself through college, because I kept on telling myself, oh, well, you only have 2 more years left. You only have 1 year left. So you might as well just finish. And I think that also having that pressure from family and friends, although Javi said that, of course, it's, for the best in their minds, whenever it's something that you don't really feel like you are necessarily succeeding with, or that I really felt like I was just going through the motions and I was just doing this because it seemed like the best option to do. And I think that that's where a lot of it was coming from. And I think that I had a lot of choices to make of truly what makes me happy and what do I truly want to do. And I think that once I figured that out, and I also journaled a lot, I meditated a lot, and I really just thought of like, who am I and what do I want to be? Because I feel like this is my life, this is my canvas, and I can do what I want to do. So therefore I should. But definitely journaling, taking some time to yourself, having a couple close friends that you can really talk to and just be authentic with. And just really getting up and realizing that I do have the opportunity to do what I want to do and be who I want to be.
It's such an incredible realization that you are the artist of your life. And I like how you put that. You know, the canvas is your canvas. It's your life. The life is your life is the canvas, and you get to paint what you want. And
Exactly.
it's true, right? And so did you end up finishing college?
No, I did not.
I look, the only
No.
I had to ask because, and I listen, no judgment in that, because look, I have a degree in physiology and science. I have a bachelor's of science physiology, and you know, other than just I did learn some quantum mechanics. I did learn some really incredible physics in college that has really helped me in life. So I know that that was necessary because it helped me in the mindset. It helped me understand, you know, the nature of reality and how we actually affect it. And so, like for me, that aspect of being in college was invaluable, right? I'll never. I'm so grateful that I learned that in college. Everything else is gone, right? And so the degree, I don't even know where my degree is. It's hidden somewhere in my garage. I have no clue. It fell off a wall at some point, and all the glass broke, and nobody replaced the frame. Like that's how the degree has been treated in my house, right? I elevate Nipsey Hussle more than I did my college degree. You can see that, right? So, you know, to me, again, not knocking anybody on the college journey, because do as you wish. At the same time, I speak to, you know, admissions directors. I speak to people in the universities, and I ask, how many of your students do what they went to college for? And the answer is staggering. It's like 9.5 out of every 10 people that go to college don't work in the field that they went to school for. And so the degree becomes more of an experience over 4 or 5 years. And that experience then is what I like to unpack and look at. Like, what happens in the college experience? Well, it's a lot of networking, it's a lot of friendship, it's a lot of drinking, it's a lot of drugs, it's a lot of sex, it's a lot of exploration of youngness, right? And I think, yes, that can happen if you travel. That can also happen by just getting into the workforce. That can also happen in so many ways of being young and exploring the world and exploring life. It doesn't need to happen in this, like, you know, concentrated area of bars and books, where I think what ends up happening, yeah, right, and then cost you 50 to $250,000, right? 50K to $250,000 to do. And so, and then they call us a scam because somebody had to pay a few $1,000 to learn from us in a more cohesive way. But that aside, you overcome that depression, Javi. You overcome the naysayers, which are obviously bombarding you with opposing information from what you're gaining in the community. And then you get these failures, right? You get a deal under contract, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. And so you get this reinforcement, it's negative reinforcement of the same message that you're hearing from outside. And then you get the choice. Is this going to work for me, or are they right? And now the evidence is showing that you're needing more work, that you're maybe just not that good. Or you can say, hey, wait, the evidence is showing that this is not real, that this is not going to work, and I should just stop. So I really want to like dive into that decision-making process, because when you have a negative, let's just call it, instead of calling it a negative and positive, let's just call it the result wasn't what you wanted versus what you wanted for a result. So when the result wasn't what you wanted, deciding on this being a learning opportunity versus this being a failure, how do you make that decision?
You want to go, Natalia?
I have a very strong belief that you never fail until you allow yourself to. I think that that's what I really drilled in my head, that failure really isn't a thing until you recognize it. It's just a chance to get back up and keep going. So I think that that's something that I definitely kept on just reminding myself. And it took me personally a lot longer than what it took Javi to get my first deal. I felt like I really just kept on banging my head against the wall, but I was very quiet about it. I didn't really want to speak up about it. And I mean, it all worked out like how it was supposed to. But I think that that's really what kept me going. I remember seeing a quote that just said, like, failure isn't recognized until you recognize it yourself.
Wow. That's an impactful statement. And I'll try to etch that into my mind for myself even. Well, let's talk a little bit about what it looks like now, because, before we got onto this podcast, you guys gave me some stats and were telling me a little bit about what it looks like this month. And so, first, how long have you been in the community, Javi? How long have you been in the community, Natalia?
Next month will be a year. So 11 months.
Okay, and Natalia?
I'm thinking year and a half, 2 years maybe, somewhere.
And when did you actually start doing stuff?
February of this year is when we linked up.
Yeah.
That's when you really started doing the work and taking it seriously?
Well, we linked up February. I think May or June is when we're like, okay,
let's do this.
And
so
then,
it's interesting, right? So there was all those months of kind of like messing around, half stepping, 1 or 2 toes in the water, not really diving in. But May, let's call it May. May is when you started actually doing the voluminous work, tracking your KPIs, making sure you're hitting the minimum numbers of calls, making sure that you're getting out the appropriate numbers of offers, making sure that you're following up with all of your cold outreach, making sure that you got your processes, following up with deals that were rejected, all of the things that we know make success, right? May is when you started doing that. So in May, we're in June, July, August, September, October. So 5 months. 5 months of actual work. How many deals you guys going to close this month?
I think like 5. Yeah. A little over.
What is the dollar amount?
I was just about to say, overall, all of these were other Astro students too. So
in the community, you're coming into the community, you're literally getting the deals from the community. This is a hilarious thing for people. They're like, well, what am I going to learn? Listen, even if you came into the community and didn't learn shit, if you just came into the community and you tapped into all the deals and you tapped into the all of the activity that's going on, you're going to monetize big time, right? So all of the deals that you're going to close this month, 4 or 5 of them or whatever, are they're all other Astro community members. What is the dollar volume there? What does that look like?
Overall, 60K.
Bro, have you ever made $60,000 in a month?
30 to us. Overall, 60, but 30 to us.
30 to you guys, right? So I guess you're splitting it 15-15.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever expect that you're going to be in a career that's going to pay you $15,000 each a month?
No.
Natalia, what you went to college for, would it have ever put you in position to have a job where you made $15,000 in a month?
No.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Wild.
It's wild. It's wild. In 5 months of serious, dedicated work, you've put yourselves in a situation where you're making more money than what you could do going to college for 4 to 8, maybe even 12 years, and have hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt behind you to have to, cover just to be able to get into a career that might make you $6,000 or $7,000 a month, in a good way, in a good career. So, I say all that because you guys are shining testaments of what it looks like when you persevere, when you take it seriously, because, a lot of people also quit in that time before May, when you guys were kind of feeling stuff out, not doing a little bit, but not doing a lot, not really tracking, not really going, hard on it. It's like yesterday, I remember we've been on some calls sometimes and you can hear it where a guy is like still talking about a deal that he was talking about last week, that he was talking about the week before. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, bro, you're still on this deal, meaning that this is all the work you've done for the last 3 weeks. Like, you're so myopic on this deal, you've called nobody else. Yeah, and when then this deal doesn't work out, even if it does or doesn't, this is the end for you. You've created no other opportunities. Your pipeline is dry except for one hopeful thing happening, right? This isn't how businesses run, right? You guys are building a pipeline. And so I'm really curious, what does it look like next for you two? Because you guys have really taken the community by storm. You guys have created for yourselves a real brand within the community. Everybody loves you, and they champion you because you're real, because you've gone through stuff, because you are the whatever it takes type individuals. And so I want to know what's next for the two of you, right? You guys have formally formed a company? Are you guys looking at potentially branding something? Obviously you're both virtual, so you don't live in the same town. What does this partnership look like moving forward?
Make more money and figure it out later. We kind of talked about it, but it was to the point where we were being pulled by so much direction, like in so many directions the whole entire year. Now that we know exactly what we need to do and how to do it, there nothing else matters except that. So we haven't got to that.
You're just
point.
pushing the button right now. You're just you're just pushing the button to get the treat.
Blindfold.
Push button, get treat. Push button, get treat.
Someone asked me this. I don't know. Keep going.
So what did you say to the naysayers, Javi?
I say,
what did you say? Did you show them? Did you show them that the money yet? It's real?
Oh, yeah.
What are they saying now?
I don't say nothing. My brother-in-law texted. He's like, what do you do? He wasn't a naysayer, but he was like, what is it that you do? Because now he sees it. And yeah, I mean, not necessarily. There's one where it's like, but what about taxes? Oh my god.
Okay, get out of here, bro. Oh, you always gotta find a problem, right? Oh, you made money now. What about paying your taxes? Like, hallelujah, thank the Lord, I get to pay taxes. You know, like
some people are like, I gotta see. I don't believe you. Let me see your bank account. And then I showed them the HUDs and the statements, and like, oh, it goes from I gotta see. I don't believe you to. So how do you do it? I was like, join my community, join Astro. That's all I can tell you.
Crazy. How about you, Natalia? What have you had any folks that you got to show?
For sure. Yeah,
and
for sure.
How's that felt? How's that felt being able to do it?
I think that the people that I have showed, they're still very congratulating, but they're still waiting to see like what's next.
Yeah.
They're still kind of like how Javi said, oh, what about taxes? And oh, well, you know, it's getting the end of the year, market slows down, and just like small little things like that. So definitely like congratulations, but still, I think that I'm still kind
of little backhanded congratulations, right? So you can tell there's still a little bit of, you know, whatever it is mixed in that. But
I'm not a flashy guy, so I don't wear my money on me. And Natalia really doesn't even go out or does anything fancy either. It was like, we don't, even if we had all this and we did all this, we don't wear it. Like, I don't be posting it and everything, which I want to get better when it comes to like.
Nah, bro, look, there's the beautiful thing about you, right? Is you're making $15,000 this month, and homie showed up on the podcast in a do-rag.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, and like, brother, I respect it so much because you keep it real. You are who you are all the time, you know, and I love the authenticity. You know, I for me have always been very much like that. You know, pressure would say to me, hey, you know, change your t-shirt. The internet wonders why you wear the same clothes every day. I don't care. Wonder. I do what I do for comfort. I do what I do for efficiency. And you know, it makes me who I am, and it makes me better in my day because I do things the way I do them. Right. So whatever. Natalia, I am proud of you, sister. You know, you're young, you're talented, and you have the world in front of you. The two of you are absolutely killing it, and I know you're going to continue to kill it. Some advice that you may have for somebody listening right now who might be in a position that you guys were in before the success. Natalia, let's start with you.
Go ahead.
I would definitely say keep going. If it's something that you truly want to do and that you're willing to place all odds on, keep going. Because you keep going and eventually you'll get there. Eventually, at some point. Like how I said earlier, you only fail whenever you recognize it. So just keep going.
Beautiful. Javi?
Link up. You can't do this by yourself. We are emotional human beings. We need other people. You don't make $1 without somebody else. So find somebody like me and Natalia. Just, you know, we both look like each other. She got straight hair, but she got curly hair too. Like, you know, we look like each other. From the same background. We like the same stuff. We just linked up and just never gave up on each other. And then we have this community to be able to plug into every single week. So don't do it by yourself. Find something. Doesn't matter what, like, be obsessed with trying to find people that succeed and just plug in. That's all I do is just plug in to everybody that's in the community succeeding. And I just feed off of that. That's just how I am. I copy people. So I just copy what they do and just stay plugged in.
We all copy people, bro. Every one of us, right? So everything in the world has been done. So let's not pretend that we're innovators. What we need to be is duplicators. And so, you know, that's life, and that's a beautiful thing. How do people get a hold of you and do business with you? We didn't even get into what markets you guys are in. So very quickly, what markets are you guys in, and how can people reach you?
We're simple. We're in one market, Jamil. That's it.
Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
And how do we reach you?
You can reach me, my email, or DM me on Instagram. So they're gonna have the handle down.
It'll be in the description, but say it anyways.
Javier Moreno Invest. It's pretty simple. Javier Moreno Invest. That's my Instagram. You'll see it there. I'm on Facebook too, Javier Moreno. Just DM me, email me, javier@jnsrei.com. How do you want to they want to go through me, or do you want to?
That's great. Yeah. Which of you guys handle AC?
We both handle AC.
Okay, Natalia, how do people get a hold of you? Maybe there's going to be some dudes that be like, she's cute. How do we get a hold of her?
My Instagram is my first name, Natalia 2222 _. You can DM me, or I have the same email handle, my first name @jnsrei.com.
There you go, guys. And I was just kidding about the cute part. Not that she's not, but don't be a weirdo. Don't send. This is business. She only wants to hear from you on some business. Okay, on some business. She wants to make. You want to make some money with her? Hit her up. Okay, that's about it. Guys, I love you both. You guys are phenomenal. I just really proud of both of you. Really, really impressive. And you'll show so many people. You'll show so many people that look like us, that sound like us, that dress like us, that live like us, that all of this is possible. And I appreciate you guys.
Podcast so bad, because people, that's why I tell Natalia all the time from the beginning. I'm like, what pushes us, other than like family and personal goals, somebody out there that looks like me needs me to succeed. It ain't even about me. So I'm not really where, like I told you before, we're not flashy, but we want to make sure that other people that look like us and from where we from know that this is possible. And just keep your head down, connect with people, and grind it out.
Love it. Guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with anybody that you feel needs to hear this inspiring message today of these two wonderful human beings, rags to riches story of being able to take everything that was stacked against them and make an opportunity for themselves and fly themselves to the moon. For myself, Javier, and Natalia, we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.